Have you checked the children?
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes that is better.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil Laird.
I'm Mercer.
And we are here to do a video game review for you guys. We've been putting up the Let's Plays on the channel. I'm not sure if I'm going to put this review up before I actually finish the game or not, but we are here to talk about Doom Eternal. And these are both of the copies of the game that I got because I got screwed by Best Buy, and it was annoying, and we wanted to do Let's Plays on day one, so not sure what I'm going to do with the extra of these, but this is the deluxe edition steelbook case, which is pretty cool.
I got mine
Give you a
a day
closer
early
look.
because of GameStop. Thank you, GameStop.
Anyway, we're here to talk about the game itself. We played through Doom 2016 on the channel, and now we have played through Doom Eternal, and we are ready to talk about it. So
Yes.
we'll do this like we kind of like we do our normal movie reviews, which is we'll give our overall thoughts on the gameplay, thoughts on particular aspects of it, thoughts on the multiplayer. We'll go through it all. So I'm going to start off by saying I had a really good time with the game. There were times where the difficulty seemed to spike, and it led to a good amount of frustration. No! Every fucking time! This fucking snake just fucked my whole shit up! I had two sword swings, both of them hit peons instead of this fuck! What the fuck just happened? That is such horse shit. I'm loading my checkpoint. I'm not gonna fucking deal with that. But it was nothing that I didn't overcome after a certain amount of time, and ultimately there was so much to love about this game that it completely overshadowed anything that I didn't like about it. So I had a great time with this game. I loved it. Fuck you! I didn't get it for the multiplayer, so that doesn't even weigh into my decision. I haven't even tried it. So take the opinion with a grain of salt, I guess, regarding that. But the story is definitely much more there than the last one was, as far as, well, I don't know, maybe not much more. It felt more there, but it was a lot of reading if you were trying to follow the whole thing. But nonetheless, the actual, we'll get into the details of it, but I enjoyed the hell out of it. Andrew?
Yeah, overall, I enjoyed the game. Campaign was phenomenal. I had a lot of fun playing it uniquely the way that we did, side by side, two people kind of looking for stuff and scavenging. We did the completionist run, so we pretty much found everything. And once you get halfway through, you start appreciating collecting that stuff because it pays off. You get to unlock stuff. You get to upgrade stuff, and the collectible stuff is actually pretty cool. So overall, like I said, it's fun in the Doom aspect of it. The multiplayer I'll hit at the tail end of this because it just kind of stands alone on its own because it's separate. But overall, I liked it a lot. I honestly don't think they did a single thing wrong.
So the story it takes place right after Doom 2016, where our Doom guy has now gone back to Earth, and Mars has overtaken pretty much all of Earth. And so you now have to fight your way through a bunch of demons to kill a few hell priests in order to get to the higher up people that will force Hell's forces to withdraw from the planet, supposedly. And it's a cool plot, and I mean, it's kind of similar to Doom 2, the original Doom 2, but it's so gorgeously presented that, I mean, I think let's just talk about graphics first, because it was a fantastically beautiful game for a game that takes place, in a hellish landscape. The environments were so engaging and cool to see. It's almost as though John Carpenter's The Thing has taken over the whole world, because there's just flesh and teeth and like demonic, visages everywhere. And it's all throughout our actual world. So it's like skyscrapers have giant upside down stars, demonic sigils, in fluorescent green glowing on the side of skyscrapers. There's giant bulls and, huge titan demons walking around. Oh, Lord. Yes, sir. Just sort of
Carrying
in the
houses.
background. Yeah, there's a couple of them are carrying, things on their back. It was very God of War in its scale, rather. I felt like this time, and so I thought the graphics were amazing, and I was playing it on an Xbox One X on a 4K TV, so I was getting a lot out of the game, and it was, not PC a lot, but still a lot for the console, and I thought it was unbelievable. How about you?
The level designs were awesome. I felt like, as far as navigation, they kept it simple, which is a callback to the original stuff where it was single platform, or they'd stick one or two things. You'd have to double back to find stuff. They didn't really give you complicated levels with like open roam style, where you have to go around big things. It was very good to what they normally do, but just in a modern day presentation. Character design, same way. You had the blood, the gore, the guts. Everything looked like it was supposed to fit in with this stuff, but then there was an edge of tech to it with some of the combined, the mancubus with the poison stuff. It was a weird tech evolved hell demon, and you that's a weird thing to envision, but they did a really good job of it. And then you get into sort of the relic and the ancient stuff, and it has a whole different look to it too. So the weapons do a really good job of showcasing you that, where your normal stuff looks like a regular, chonkin assault rifle, and then the gun that you unlock at the very end of it looks like it doesn't belong anywhere on Earth. It belongs somewhere else. So I think with the designs of the guns, the levels, the characters, all that kind of stuff, it fit in this game, and they crushed it. They did a really good job of calling back to the original, but making a modern day presentation of it.
Well, that sounds more like, your opinion on, like you said, the designs and stuff, which I thought was great too. But what about the actual graphics? How did it look to you? Like,
I didn't play on 4K, so, but I don't know. I didn't notice anything that I would say was a negative or a bad. Okay. It was just maybe sometimes it was dark, and the screen gets too red when you start dying. That's
fair.
Two things that I noticed a lot. But again, once you're used to the patterns and stuff like that, which I guess is more gameplay. I don't know if we're gonna get into that.
Yeah,
but,
we will.
You kind of figure it out, and it's less frustrating and more just, okay, let's move on, press forward. So.
Well, with regards to the design, my opinion, I thought it was great too. I thought the levels were really creative, and I thought that the secrets were kind of not hidden better, but hidden in ways that you could still find your way to them if you looked hard enough. Whereas in the first game, I didn't feel it was quite as easy. And it's not that I needed it to be easier, but some of them were like needlessly complicated to get to, I feel like, in the first one. But these were all fun. So the design of where they placed everything I thought was cool.
Some of the ones toward the end with the statue, where you had to break the statue, hit the switch, I felt like those, when I first found them, were like, okay, this is impossible. You're never going to get to this statue and see the cracks and all that stuff. But if you go to the old stuff, that's exactly how it was. You hit a switch, you had to go down a staircase and run around, and you wouldn't even know the door existed unless you put two and two together.
Right.
Again, all callbacks to old stuff, just done in a modern way. Did they do it the right way the first time, or this second go around? Maybe not, but they're doing something as a callback modern day. So I can appreciate it,
But yeah, sticking with the design for a minute, the level designs were very long this time around compared to the first time. Like each one took an hour to 2 hours, depending on how completionist you wanted to go with it, really. And I liked that a lot. At first it was getting frustrating. I was like, damn, each level is so long. But that made, it's like a 9 or 10 level game. And that makes it, 19, 20 hours long. And so that's great for a Doom game, in my opinion. And the designs of the demons themselves and the, all of the character models, I thought those were really cool, too. I thought all the different suits that you had access to were really neat.
Yeah.
And then
and how they showed up in the cutscenes, too. That was really cool, that it didn't flip back to the original and then put you in the ones you bought. once you get it, you see everything from that point on like that. So
I liked the new demons that they added. They added a bunch of new ones from different games and stuff like that. So the enemy types were more various this time around, which I was really a big fan of that. And even the boss fights I thought were a little bit cooler this time around too. Although there was a couple that were really neat the last time around, but they kind of did a similar thing in this one as well. But it's just, I don't know. The boss fights could go either way. A couple of them were better in the first one. A couple of them were better in this one. But the very final boss, at the very least, was way better in my opinion. I really dug that. But let's move on to gameplay.
Yeah. We're in gameplay. We dabbled in it.
It's really great shooting. Obviously, that's what the last one was. This is a very smooth shooter. This is not one where you feel every footstep the way you do in like Call of Duty and stuff like that.
Sliding.
You're gliding around and you get a lot of different ways to move around the environment in interesting ways. You get ways to avoid the demons in really cool ways, like a dash and a couple of other things along those lines, double jumps. And you can double dash.
Interactive terrain.
Eventually, interactive terrain. You can climb now as well. So the traversal that they added in this game was not only really cool, but it didn't feel extraneous. Like, it didn't feel crammed in. It feels like they added the traversal because this is what you'd have to do to get around in a post-Hell invaded Earth, where things are broken off and entire chunks of buildings and city are missing. But there's still, hellish sort of technology, which is keeping things up in the air as well. So you got to do big jumps and things like that at times. So I thought that added a level to the game that made it a lot more interesting than the first one in that sense. Because just getting around the environment was way more interesting this time than it was last time.
Yeah. I don't know. Moving around the level to me isn't the exciting part of the game. I think that is just wrapped up to me with pace. Like, the pace of the game is so fast. I love it. Whether it's running to find stuff and you're running around super fast, or it's just kill after kill after kill, glory kill, to up in the air, to, hooking somebody with a shotgun and then shooting them in the face. Like, it's just so fast that that's the one thing that I appreciate is it's not just a first-person shooter. It separates itself because it's so fast. You have to get ammo. You have to constantly be thinking about killing smaller demons to resource up to kill the bigger guys. I mean, it's just a mini game inside of a mini game, and it's all exploding heads. So
yeah, and actually, if you're not used to that, because 2016 they didn't emphasize the chainsaw as much as they do in this one.
Yes,
you got to use it a few times, and you could use it on bigger bad guys. But they kind of shifted that to the sword. You eventually get like this wicked plasma kind of sword, and it can be used on the big baddies. You can use the chainsaw on some of the mid-level guys, but usually you just use them on the small guys because if you do that, it feeds you a bunch of ammo and stuff like that. And then there's another functionality they added, which was like a Predator-like shoulder cannon that was a flamethrower.
Yep.
So you could burn demons at any point, and while the demons were burning, they would drop armor for you.
Yep.
So you could burn a bunch of little ones as they're crowding around you, let them drop armor while you're killing stuff around them.
Or you could eventually you kill them and you get health as well. So you're health up, armor up, and then you can go kill the baddies. That's kind of the whole purpose of the game at some point in time. I thought the gun designs were cool and stuff, but I felt like they capped out as far as upgrades and stuff at a certain point. It felt like the guns were just not going to get any beefier, any more deadly, and then they slowly introduced the BFG and the bulky plasma rifle, and then at that point in time, you have something to really kind of combat the bigger guys, but trying to take those guys down with just your assault rifle and shotgun, that was like the toughest part of the game for me, was when your arsenal didn't match the enemies that they were throwing at you. So,
but then
rocket launcher.
But they'll usually feed you a couple of little guys, and then you just chainsaw them, then you get the ammo you need.
It was more strategy at that point in time. They wanted you to lean on strategy, but again, at some point in times in that game, you want to go continue the story, so you don't want to spend the time to do the strategy. You want to just move on, and you have a giant
Andrew's a
shotgun
guy that
and
runs into a...
Well,
he Leroy Jenkins is a lot. And
that's what this game is about. You're supposed to move forward.
They
process
changed
is
that though
moving
in this
forward.
one. I mean, yeah, you still move forward. It's just you have to fight a little bit differently.
I don't even think that's the case, because the last one you had to attack these guys differently. I just feel like they said there are certain weapons that are going to be powerhouses, and then there are certain weapons that are going to be in a regular pool, and they don't give you access to those until later on. And I feel like there's a crucial part in the game, right around the rocket launcher, BFG, plasma rifle, upgrade stuff. That's when it's, again, they give you the auto shotgun, which I never used. Did you use it?
No,
I just did grenade launcher the whole time. And then there was a microwave upgrade for the plasma rifle. Never used it. Just always did the burst thing. So
yeah.
There's aspects of the game I didn't really use.
But everyone's going to choose their favorite, so I'm sure there's other people that use the auto shotgun out there.
I changed to the slow motion at the very end to beat the boss, because I was having a tough time doing it the way that I had played the entire game up until that point. So gameplay, I think it's variable enough to where a lot of people like it, but I just felt like there are certain aspects of it. Again, you can't get all 100%, but there are certain aspects of it that they could improve coming back on a next one. A next one?
I liked a lot of it though, man. I liked a lot of the implementations. They have special gates that you had to find the key to unlock, which if you did all the gates, you got a special weapon at the very end of the game to tackle the last couple of levels.
That was cool.
That was really fun. So
did you use it?
I did. Yeah, I used it.
I don't think I used it.
I used it mostly at on the end boss kind of thing. But I thought that there was a lot of cool stuff that they implemented. One thing I did notice that was noticeably absent from Doom 2016 was the secret old levels. Right, where you'd you have to find a lever, and then you'd be able to get in and play the older looking levels. But maybe they just used all the older levels they wanted to use, and they didn't want to do whole other levels within these levels.
I feel like
these were big enough anyway without the extra.
That was their way of saying we're trying to move. We want new stuff. We want to move forward. That was our homage stuff, but they did so much throwback stuff. It's all Doom. It's still Doom. Anybody that says this isn't along the lines of the main stuff is just wrong.
You get cool upgrades that not only allow you to do the double jumps and the dashes and stuff like that, but you can choose things that'll allow you the slow-mo that he was touching on, where when you jump into the air, you can slow down. When you aim, it slows down time for a few seconds, and you're able to really zone in on a couple of different things. The exploration, because of all the things that they hit everywhere, I thought the exploration was kind of a searchitis, someone that suffers from searchitis' dream.
Yeah, and they help you out a lot with perks that you can unlock too to find stuff. So if you're not about just searching everywhere and blindly doing it, they give you hints on maps and stuff. So it's not
they
that
make
bad.
it worth it. Like, you can find all the pages; those are pretty easy compared to everything else. Yeah. Everything else really kind of helps you. The toys are just a cool collection that you can see, like essentially a giant Funko Pop collection of all the demons inside the game. But yeah, otherwise everything else either builds up or just helps you on the spot with an upgrade that you can grab. So I liked all of that.
Yeah, rune tokens for the suit. And
the mastery tokens eventually, where you can skip all of the tasks, the challenges to upgrade your weapons fully.
You're like already 3/4 of the way there, so you're like, all right, well, I'll do it for the rocket launcher because I've never tried that.
So, of course, talking about Doom, we have to talk about a couple of things. We have to talk about the effects and the score, and then we'll hit the multiplayer at the end there.
Okay,
so,
yeah, just a little.
The gore effects are amazing, and it kind of ties in with the fact that they really went hog wild, giving everyone essentially 5 different ways to be glory killed. So the glory kills, when you shoot a demon enough, they flash, and then you can get in close and kill them in a really gruesome way. In the first one, you got maybe 1 or 2, but in this one, there's literally a different glory kill for all 4 ways you approach them. So from the front, from the side, from the back, and from on top. And so you each one, well, maybe 5 glory in 5 ways, not 6 ways, but yeah, 5 ways to be glory killed per character. And it's really, really awesome because each one is really twisted. And literally, you can see in my playthrough of the last episode, either once it airs or I don't know if it's up by the time I put this up, but you can see that I'm still discovering new glory kills on the very last level.
Yep.
Just because I'm approaching certain guys' ways that I hadn't before. Yep. And some of them are really awesome. I mean, one of my favorites is the annoying weak guys that you can chainsaw that have the arm cannon flamethrowers. And yeah, one of them, you turn it, right underneath their chin and they blow their own heads off. It's so cool. And they're just, all the glory kills are really, really fun. So they really up the ante there. And with just the general gore of the fact that the creatures now disassemble as you're destroying them.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, muscle bits and flesh
Bone
and
into
everything. They
heads.
all start showing as everyone shows battle damage, aggressive battle damage, and it's really, really cool. So how did you like all the gore?
The gore was great. There's just so much of it, and it's not just on the, like you said, the players and the progressive damage and stuff like that. The levels, there's teeth on the ledges that you climb up, so you literally watch your hands go on teeth and pull them up. Like, it's just a feel. It's a very gore feel all the way through, and then it melds with, like I said, technology and architecture and stuff with buildings. It's just so weird to look at, but at the same time, you start feeling at home with it because you hear the punch, and instead of like that thud, it's more of a, you know, it's just squishy, nasty, and people's heads explode and make noises that you're like, what is that? Yeah, the variety and all that stuff with the way you can approach them is really cool. It makes you want to try and see different stuff. I guess maybe at some point in time we got complacent and just said, we've seen them all, and then at the very end we're having to do stuff from different angles and end up getting different kills. So I thought it was cool. Even the when you get the sword, there's different animations for taking people out with the sword. So it's all cool. It's next level stuff. I don't think there's a game out there that's been this gory. Just the way that it's interactive too. So you can pick if you want to jam it in his head or in his stomach or blow him up. And there's just so much to the gore. It's 10 out of 10 for me.
Yeah. So then that leads to, in my opinion, the best thing about the game, which is the score.
Yes.
The score is unreal, you guys. If you thought the score for 2016 was good, this one just blows it out of the water because they actually got together a metal choir in order to do a lot of the score. So it's not your standard kind of angelic sounding choir. It is a bunch of metal dudes and dudettes that all got together, and there is the music ranges from unbelievably rockin' kick-ass beats to really intense, like edge of your seat metal, all the way to really haunting sort of chants throughout the
Demonic.
game. Yeah, demonic chants. And just unnervingness, like the female chants that you hear towards the end in those later levels are really, really unnerving and really cool.
Okay. Got it. Hey, why don't you guys give me some armor for a bit? How about that?
The score, I think it's Mick Gordon is the guy's
Mick
name?
Gorgon or Mick Gordon?
Gordon, something like that.
Gordon, I don't know.
But it's
type it in.
amazing. It's unbelievable, the score. I'm definitely going to put it into my playlist.
Yes. I listen to the original Doom soundtrack all the time. There's a couple of classics, I call them, on there. But yeah, this is a whole new, 20-some tracks there usually. That's what the last one was. So, and I get to look through and see all the fun stuff that I'm going to remember from the game. I mean, it's not really difficult to remember certain jingles and whatnot. The one thing, though, is there was menu music in the last game, especially in the multiplayer, and they're not going to have that. I'm not going to have as much variety. Some of the stuff will be new, I guess. So,
Well, that's
Mick Gorgon.
that's as good a transition as any to that multiplayer.
Yeah,
so
we'll
go ahead and hit that since
we'll
I haven't
briefly
watched
talk
it yet.
about the multiplayer. Again, you didn't really play it, so you haven't
No.
had the experience. I wanted to check it out because I played the last multiplayer a lot. Like a lot. And I was relatively good at it. It was competitive. There was just a lot to how fun it was, and I expected them to build. I didn't expect them to revamp or do anything crazy and do away with anything. Well, battle mode I thought was going to be more of a team thing or multiple people. So basically they give you 2 demons and 1 Doomslayer, and that's it. You're either one of those 3 people. And between the powers of the demons and the Doomslayer's regular abilities, all the guns that you unlock in the game, except for the BFG and maybe the sword, I'm not sure. They weren't available to me in the game, at least at that point. So you have to take down the 2 demons, or the demons have to take the Doomslayer down. The Doomslayer kills one of the demons. There's a 30-second interval, and then the demon comes back. Doomslayer doesn't get any intervals or any extra lives. Best of 5. So if you win 3, you win. So to me it wasn't a fun experience. I played in all slots. I played as the Doomslayer a couple different times. I won 1 round. It took me like 13 minutes, and then I lost 3 rounds in a row in like a matter of 5 minutes. So I felt like you're just completely outnumbered. I played another one as the Doomslayer, same thing. I extended the matches to like 7 minutes apiece, but it was just survival. It wasn't like you could do anything other than run and saw little guys and get resources and try and heal up. And it's very difficult. Maybe it's on a difficulty level that's above most people playing the game. I don't know. I don't know who they were thinking of when they made this. But to take out the multiplayer completely and put this in, I think it was just a big miss. Like a complete and total miss.
Okay.
So if you don't like it, tell me in the comments. Let me know. But battle mode, to me, you didn't play it.
No, I don't buy these games for the battle mode. I buy them for the story or the single player.
I played the
I was
last
supremely happy.
The last multiplayer that's designed like a Halo or a Call of Duty, where you rank up, you use the weapons in the game. There were other game modes where you got to beat demons and this and that, and it was fun, but those were side game modes. The main thing was built on multiplayer. For them to strip it away, I think is just crazy. So I don't know what they were thinking.
All right. Well, that's going to do it, guys. That covers pretty much everything from Doom Eternal. Again, if you like the Doom games, it's very much worth your time. It's one of the smoothest first-person shooters I've ever played, and it's just a load of fun. I'm going to go back and play it again eventually, and supposedly I have a Season 1 pass.
What?
So supposedly we're supposed to get more Doom to play later this year. So I'm very excited about it. Let us know in the comments down below if you have watched any of the gameplay, what you think, if you're playing the game yourself. Have you played any of the Doom games in recent years? If not, does this sway you one way or another? Just let us know in those comments down below. Thank you very much to our patrons for supporting the channel. If you want to become a patron, the link is in the description box, and you can choose movies for us to review and do commentary, stuff like that. So thank you guys very much for watching. Until next time, I've been Cecil Laird.
I'm Andrew Mercer.
And remember, stay scared!
That was a good one.